I've never told this story before, not in full. I've shared bits and pieces with a few friends, but nothing like this. Not the real story. Not everything that happened. And believe me, what you're about to hear is something you couldn't make up if you tried. Her name was Mia. She was perfect, or at least I thought she was. We'd been together for 3 years. That might not seem like a long time to some, but for me, it was everything. In a relationship, you never really expect things to fall apart. You assume the person you love will always be there, by your side, no matter what happens. And then there was Jake, my twin. We were always together. Always. We shared everything, our thoughts, our fears, even our relationships. I never imagined he could hurt me. But he did. How could I have been so blind? How could I have missed all the signs? Mia and Jake, they'd been hiding something from me. Something I didn't want to believe. At first, it was small things. Nothing that screamed danger. Mia would cancel plans last minute. She'd get quiet when we talked about certain topics. Jake seemed off too. He started making excuses, telling me he was busy, but then he'd disappear for days without a word. I never thought much of it. I mean, life gets busy, right? We all have things going on. I trusted them both. I trusted them. And that was my mistake. It wasn't until one night that everything changed. I was sitting in my living room, alone, when I saw something on Mia's phone. Something that would shatter my world forever. I thought I was imagining things. Maybe I was overthinking it, but I couldn't stop myself from looking. I should have walked away, but I didn't. I tapped the message and read what was inside, and it was worse than I could have ever imagined. Jake and Mia, they were together. They had been hiding it from me. And the worst part? They thought I didn't know. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone across the room and forget everything. But there was no way to forget this. Not anymore. This is the story of how I found out, and how everything changed after that. I should have confronted them. I should have gone to them immediately. But I didn't. I had a different plan. A plan for revenge. I wanted them to feel what I felt. And trust me, by the end of this, they did. Before we get into it, do me a favor, if you're enjoying this story so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of this crazy ride. There was a time when everything seemed perfect. When I could look at Mia and know, with every ounce of my being, that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. You know how it feels, right? When you're so in sync with someone, you think nothing could break that bond. That was Mia. She wasn't just my girlfriend, she was my best friend. We met when we were in college. At first, I didn't think much of it. I was the quiet guy, still figuring myself out. But when Mia walked into that room, everything changed. She had this energy about her, this warmth. It was magnetic. The way she smiled at me, it made me feel like I was the only person in the world. We moved in together after just 6 months. I know, it might sound fast to some, but when you find someone who feels like home, you don't question it. Mia was my home. And Jake, my twin brother, Jake, was always there with us. We were inseparable. 3 of us, together, as close as could be. I guess when you're in a relationship, you get so caught up in the good moments that you forget to look for cracks. You know. You just assume everything will stay the same, because it feels perfect. For a while, I thought it was. I thought we were invincible. And I trusted Jake, he was my brother, my twin. We shared everything. Our hopes, our dreams, and yes, even the women we dated. That was the thing about Jake. He was always there for me. He had my back, no questions asked. We always had each other's backs. That was the bond we shared, something that ran deeper than anything else in our lives. And Mia? Mia got along with Jake better than anyone I'd ever known. They clicked, naturally. I thought it was perfect, two people I loved most, getting along so well. We were a family in every sense of the word. The three of us. There were moments where I'd catch Mia and Jake talking late at night when I came home from work. I'd smile, thinking it was sweet. After all, it was Jake, my twin. Mia's a friendly person, she's kind, so I didn't think much of it. I liked the fact that they got along. Who wouldn't? I should have known better. I should have noticed the small things. But I didn't. I was happy. Things were good. I had the life I always dreamed of. There were days when Mia would cancel plans, or Jake would disappear for a while, like he was always busy with work or something. I never questioned it. Not once. I trusted them both so much that I didn't even think about what was happening behind closed doors. But then there were the moments where things didn't quite feel right. Small things, at first. Mia's phone would buzz when we were out, and she'd quickly silence it, almost too quickly. Or Jake, always checking his phone when we were all together, always making sure no one was looking. I kept telling myself it was nothing. That they were just friends. But deep down, something wasn't sitting right. I should have said something sooner. I should have been more aware. But when you're in love, you don't always see the signs. Or maybe you don't want to. But I didn't act on it. Not then. I thought it was just me being paranoid. I trusted them. I trusted Jake. I trusted Mia. It wasn't until later that I realized what I'd missed. How blind I had been. You can't go back and undo what's already been done. You can't fix the cracks that are already there, no matter how hard you try. I should have seen it coming. But I didn't. And that's how they got me. That's how they got away with it, for as long as they did. In hindsight, I can see the signs. They were there, right in front of me. The little things I ignored, the moments I brushed off. I guess when you're in love, you're blind to the truth. It started with small changes. The kind you don't even realize at first. Mia would be distant sometimes, quiet. She'd cancel plans last minute or reschedule at the last minute. I thought maybe she was just busy, maybe work was getting to her. It happens, right? People get caught up in life. But then there were times she'd seem distracted. A little off. I could see it in her eyes. She wasn't looking at me the way she used to. She wasn't really there. And then there was Jake. He was acting differently, too. We'd been inseparable my whole life, but over the past few months, he started pulling away. He'd make excuses not to hang out. I'm busy with work, he'd say. Or, I need to catch up on sleep. It was always something. But when I'd look at him, I could tell something was off. I should have asked more questions. I should have pushed harder, but I didn't. I trusted them both. So, when things started to get weird, I told myself it was just stress. That it would pass. But then, things started getting strange. One night, I came home early from work, just a few hours before Mia was expecting me. The door was slightly ajar. I thought maybe she forgot to close it all the way. I called out her name, but there was no response. I walked inside, and there she was. She was standing by the window, staring outside, lost in thought. It was a small thing, but it felt off. Like she wasn't expecting me. Like I'd caught her at a moment she didn't want me to see. I didn't say anything about it. I didn't want to overthink things. But I couldn't shake the feeling. Then came the night that changed everything, when I saw the messages. I wasn't snooping. I swear, I wasn't. But the way her phone kept buzzing, I couldn't ignore it anymore. The messages just kept coming. I had this sick feeling in my gut, like I was about to uncover something I wasn't supposed to see. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was just my gut telling me that something wasn't right. But I looked at the phone. And there it was. A message from Jake. From my brother. Are you sure no one's home? It was late at night. It didn't make sense. I stared at it for what felt like an eternity. I wanted to wake Mia up. I wanted to confront her right then and there. But I didn't. I closed the phone and pretended like I didn't see it. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that Mia and Jake, my twin, the guy I trusted more than anyone, could be involved in something like this. But the worst part? The worst part was that even after seeing that message, I still didn't confront them. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe I was reading too much into it. So I pushed it out of my mind. For a while. But it didn't stop. The messages kept coming, and I kept pretending like I didn't know anything. I didn't want to be that guy, the jealous boyfriend, the suspicious brother. I didn't want to believe that the people I loved most could betray me like this. And then came the night when I finally saw them together. Really together. I wasn't looking for it, but it found me. I was at the store, picking up a few things. It was late, almost closing time. As I was walking out, I saw them. Mia and Jake. Standing outside in the parking lot, talking. Laughing. They were closer than I'd ever seen them. But it wasn't just the closeness that struck me. It was the way they looked at each other, like they were in their own world, like they didn't even notice me standing there. I saw it. I saw the way they touched. The way Mia looked at Jake. It was different. It wasn't the way a brother and a sister-in-law should look at each other. It wasn't even the way a friend would look at someone. I knew. I knew right then. There was no more pretending. No more excuses. They were hiding something from me. And I couldn't ignore it any longer. I didn't confront them that night. I couldn't. I didn't know what to do with the anger, the hurt, the betrayal I felt. But I made a promise to myself right then and there. I would find out the truth. I would get to the bottom of it. And when I did, they would know that I knew. I couldn't let this go on any longer. I couldn't pretend that nothing was wrong. I had to find out. I had to know the truth, no matter how much it hurt. Because the truth is the one thing that can't be hidden forever. I tried to tell myself that I was overreacting. That maybe I was just being paranoid. But deep down, I knew. I knew there was more to the story than what I was being shown. So I started to dig. It wasn't easy. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I knew that if I could just find one thing, one piece of evidence, I'd have my answer. I started with the obvious. I went through Mia's phone. I know. You might be thinking it's a breach of privacy, but I was desperate. I had to know. So, one night, when she was asleep, I took her phone. I didn't want to, but I had to. She was so careful with it, always keeping it close. Always looking over it. But tonight, I had my chance. I went through her messages. Every conversation. Every text. And it was there. Right in front of me. A message from Jake. Simple, almost casual. Are you free tonight? Let's meet up. And right under it, Mia's reply, I'll be there. No explanation. No context. Just like that. It was like everything clicked into place. All the little things, all the moments I'd ignored. They were real. They were seeing each other. They had been seeing each other for months. I don't know what I expected to find, but it wasn't this. The worst part? It wasn't even just the physical betrayal. It was the fact that they'd been lying to my face for so long. They'd been pretending like everything was normal while they were secretly together. I had to know more. I had to confirm it. So I started going through Jake's stuff. His emails. His social media. And there it was again. Another message, this time from Mia. I miss you. Short. To the point. But it was enough. I couldn't stop. I couldn't just leave it there. I needed to know exactly when it started. I needed to see it all. And when I went through their past messages, going back months, I found the proof. I found it all. They'd been hiding it from me for so long. I couldn't believe it. Every plan they'd made. Every secret meeting. They were playing me for a fool. And the worst part? They knew I trusted them. They knew I'd never question them. I had what I needed. The proof. I couldn't unsee it, no matter how much I wanted to. It was time to confront them. To face the truth. And when I did, I wasn't going to hold back. I wasn't going to give them a chance to lie to me again. I was done being their fool. It was time. Time to let them know I knew everything. Time to see how they'd explain themselves now. I didn't give them a heads up. I didn't call and give them the chance to explain themselves before I got there. No. I wanted them to feel the weight of my silence. I wanted them to know that I had everything, every message, every lie, every moment they thought they could get away with. I never thought I'd be in this position. To have to face the people I trusted most and ask them, why? Why betray me? Why ruin everything we had? It was Mia at the door first. She had no idea I knew. Her smile was the same, it always was, warm, loving. The kind of smile that made me feel safe. But that smile, it wasn't for me anymore. I could see it in her eyes. She was scared. She knew something was wrong. I didn't waste time. I didn't let her fill the silence with excuses or small talk. The moment she walked through that door, I hit her with the question, how long, Mia? Simple. Direct. To the point. How long? What are you talking about? What do you mean? These are the messages between you and Jake. Don't try to lie to me. I know everything. I thought you loved me, Mia. I thought we were happy. But you were lying to me all along. And I thought Jake, he was my brother. My twin. The one person I trusted without question. I never meant for it to happen like this. I love you, I swear. But things just got complicated. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I made a mistake, but I didn't know how to stop. I didn't know how to tell you. Stop. Stop with the excuses. I don't want to hear them. You didn't just make a mistake, Mia. You chose this. Over me. Over us. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't some complicated situation. This was a choice you made. You chose to hurt me. You chose to lie to me. And now, you're sitting here, crying, pretending like it doesn't matter. It matters, Mia. It matters more than you'll ever understand. But this was just the beginning. I wasn't going to let them both get away with it. Jake. I've been waiting for you. What's going on? Why are you two? Don't play dumb with me. I've seen your messages. I know everything. How long, Jake? How long were you sleeping with her? How long were you betraying me behind my back? I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. We never meant to hurt you, man. I swear. Don't you dare tell me you didn't mean to hurt me. You're my brother. My twin. You should have had my back. But you didn't. You both betrayed me. And now now you want me to feel sorry for you. This is over. I don't know what happens now, but I'm done. I've got nothing left for either of you. He doesn't have to say anything more. The message is clear. I could feel it, the anger. The burning need to do something. Anything. I couldn't just walk away from this, not without taking control. Not without making them feel what I felt. I'd been played for a fool. A joke. And they had no idea how deep they'd cut. But now, I was the one calling the shots. I wasn't going to let them get away with this, not without paying the price. Revenge isn't about blind rage. It's about control. Strategy. It's about making them regret the moment they thought they could walk all over me. And I was going to make sure they knew the consequences of what they'd done. Step 1, get into their heads. Make them feel what I feel. The guilt, the doubt. I'm going to make sure they can't sleep at night, can't look in the mirror without seeing my face. Step 2, drive a wedge between them. They think they're so clever. But Jake doesn't realize Mia isn't as innocent as she seems. She's been playing both of us. He'll never see it coming. Step 3, use their own trust against them. I'll make sure they doubt everything. Each other. Me. They'll never know who's working behind the scenes. I'll pull the strings until they're both tangled in a web of their own lies. I'll make them feel it. I'll make them regret everything. I won't be the one left in the dark. No, they'll be the ones in the shadows. They'll wonder when the other shoe is going to drop. Yeah, I need you to send me everything. All of it. I'll know when the time's right. Step 4, make them doubt each other. Make them think I'm gone. Make them think they've won. And when they least expect it, that's when I'll strike. When they can't do anything to stop me. I know what you did. And I'm coming for you. The revenge has begun. It's only a matter of time. I wasn't going to give them any more chances to backpedal. I wasn't going to let them think they could weasel their way out of this. The clock was ticking, and I had a plan in place. Every move, every word, was designed to make them doubt everything. And I was going to make them pay. First, I needed to plant seeds of doubt. I couldn't just make them feel the consequences of their betrayal, I had to make them question everything. The trust they thought they had. The bond they believed was unbreakable. The cracks had to start showing. I know everything. You can't hide from this. I'm always watching. They thought they had control. They thought they could lie and deceive me. But now, I had them second-guessing every move they made. And I wasn't done yet. Jake had always been the charismatic one. The one who could charm anyone. But now, it was my turn to get inside his head. I wasn't going to let him think he was safe, that this was all some misunderstanding. No, I wanted him to feel like the walls were closing in on him. Slowly. Relentlessly. Oh, hey, man. What's up? You thought you could get away with it, huh? Thought I wouldn't find out? It's all right there. Everything. Don't try to lie, Jake. I've seen it with my own eyes. You know, I always looked up to you, Jake. You were supposed to be my brother, my twin. But now, I can't even look at you the same way. Look, man. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. You know I didn't want to hurt you. It was a mistake. A mistake. This wasn't some one-time slip-up. This was calculated. You didn't just fall into this. You chose this. You chose her. Over me. And now, I'm going to make sure you both pay for this. Not just emotionally. I'm going to take everything you have. I'll make sure you regret ever thinking you could get away with it. They still don't know the full extent of what I'm doing. But they will. Mia's already on edge. She's been getting the same cryptic messages I sent Jake. I know she's starting to panic. And once she feels like Jake might be the one who ratted her out, she'll turn on him. I've already started to plant the seeds of distrust. What's happening? Why is he doing this? I didn't just want them to regret what they did, I wanted them to feel like everything was slipping away. Like they were losing control. And that's exactly what's happening. I've been waiting for this. Waiting for them to crack. They're both so damn paranoid now. And they don't know how close they are to losing everything. Who else knows? Who's behind this? Why is this happening? She's unraveling. I can feel it. She's already questioning everything. That's the first step. I don't need to push her any further. She's already turned on Jake. We need to talk. I don't know what's going on, but I can't do this anymore. Mia, listen to me, whatever this is, it's not what you think. I swear, I didn't tell anyone. We can work through this, okay? Please, just pick up. He's been trying to fix it. Trying to convince her that it's all a misunderstanding. But Mia's not buying it. She knows something's off. And every time he tries to smooth things over, it just makes things worse. I've done what I set out to do. I've made them distrust each other. I've made them question everything. But there's one last thing I need to make them understand, I'm still in control. They can't escape the consequences. Not yet. I told you both it would come to this. You've lost everything. And it's my turn now. I made sure they'd regret it. I made sure they'd feel it every step of the way. They thought they were in control of their lives, but now, they'll know what it's like to lose everything. Because of me. Mia, what's going on? What happened to us? I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt you. You don't get to talk to me like that. Not after everything you've done. They're lost now. There's no coming back from this. No matter how much they try to fix things, it's too late. They've both crossed a line. And I've made sure they'll never forget who made them pay for it. I don't feel victorious. I don't feel like I've won. I thought revenge would give me closure. But in the end, all it did was leave me with a hollow feeling. I've watched everything crumble around me. And now, I'm left with nothing but the memory of the choices I made. At first, revenge seemed like the answer. It felt like it would be the closure I needed, the justice I deserved. But now, after everything, I don't know if it was worth it. I wanted them to feel the pain, to regret their actions, but what I didn't realize was that I was just as much a part of the destruction as they were. I got what I thought I wanted. Mia and Jake are both broken. Their relationship is destroyed. But what about me? I've spent so much time focusing on hurting them, that I forgot to ask myself, was this really the victory I thought it would be? I've lost a part of myself too. I've watched them spiral. I've watched them crumble. But I've also watched myself become something I never thought I would be. Revenge doesn't fix things. It just leaves a trail of wreckage in its wake. And now, I'm left to clean up the pieces. But there's no going back, is there? Maybe it was all just too much to begin with. I don't know. I wish I could go back and change things, but I can't. All I have now are the pieces of a life that no longer exists. So, here we are. The end of the story. And maybe it's not just about revenge. Maybe it's about realizing that the choices we make don't just affect others. They affect us, too. Sometimes, we think we're doing the right thing, but in the end, we might be losing more than we ever bargained for. I guess that's the lesson in all of this. Revenge, justice, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't come without a cost. Sometimes, that cost is more than you can afford. I've paid my price. And now, I have to live with it. What do you think? Did I justify it in seeking revenge, or was it all just a path to my own destruction? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story might be over, but there's always more to come.